So the last time I talked RID 2015, yeah, I made a few errors. Aside from getting the focus and the zoom of the video wrong, I completely missed Strongarm's weapon storage, which makes me feel really silly since I pointed it out and everything. But I can't stand things like that. I need redemption. And that will come in the form of RID Optimus Prime. Not the big fire truck from years and years back. This is the brand new deluxe toy. It's warrior class toy. I hate that classification. I've been really excited for this toy since they first showed it off, and I'm now happy to have it in hand. As you can see, full-size semi-truck, trailer and all, and looking quite nice at it, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it's mostly colored from plastic, blues and reds here for the cab. All this deco down the side is red to give him a little bit of flair and break up the blue. And the front end is painted. You can see the headlights there. They have a blue sheen to them and some glittery black for the grille and the windshield. And you can even see they worked in the smokestacks. And they are worked in a way that they will not poke anyone's eye out upon tripping. So that's always good. The truck itself is actually quite nice. I like the shape of it. You know, it is nice and long and looks quite a bit like an actual semi-truck. Aside from a few things where the transformation's simple nature kind of affects things. You can see this is supposed to look like the back of the truck, but then we have this gap in here that isn't quite filled in. A toy with a higher budget might have had something like fold down to cover or something. I don't know. It looks like there's a gap there that really shouldn't. What I am happy to see is 10 wheels, and they are all mushroom pegged on, as many wheels on Transformers tend to be these days, but, you know, it all works. You know, not as nice as some of the old wheel designs, but it does still roll and keeps everything from getting scratched up on the bottom, so that's a relief. I do like the detailing in here, too. There's not as much of it since these are trying to match the flatter aesthetics of the cartoon, but you can see some rivets in there, some molding lines on the hood, and the full doors, which are really oddly shaped for doors that are supposed to fit a human. We did put in some windows, so that's a nice touch. Toward the back, things kind of fall apart. I mean, you got a bumper here, but you can clearly see the robot mode's feet. And if we look at it from the top, yeah, that's clearly his legs. What's in the middle, however, is weapon storage. Hey, I figured it out this time! It's his Energon axe in a new stylized form. I am glad they always keep it to an axe when they can. It's very throwbacky and traditional. It's very nice to see. But without that, you've got this huge gap going down the center of the trailer. So that's kind of unfortunate. But in general, I'm pretty much a fan of the vehicle mode. You know, it looks nice, it functions, and it feels a good size, you know, for its size. But, you know how I said Strongarm was kind of good because she scaled well as vehicle to the other cars? Yeah, not so much. This guy scales terribly. But it, it doesn't matter, kind of expected at this size. Anyway, let's transform him, because I quite like the transformation to this guy. We start off by these huge panels on the side, which start at the smokestack, folding all the way back. We then rotate the waist around and open it up, and that gives us our legs. To get the arms, we will split this, rotate and fold them down, creating these big blocks. Here's the transformation trick I like. The fists peg in with their actual fist holes. That's a nice little bit of multitasking. That's nice. Pop that one out. We'll fold the other shoulder down, and I'll form the head, which clicks into place. And that gives us our robot mode. And I am quite the fan of this robot mode. It's got a little bit of Cybertron Optimus vibe to him. It's got a very futuristic look. It's got these wide shoulders that I like. He's very leggy, I will say that. Very RID Magnus in that way. Very small torso, very long shins. But it's the proportions of the new cartoon, so let's not judge it too harshly. All the important stuff is here. Again, the painting is pretty sparse. The fake windshield is painted in. All this midsection is painted. This is all molded in red. And strangely enough, the hips. These hips are painted to match the legs and the arms. Like, I don't know budget or part layout, but it always confuses me when parts like this are painted in a different color. I honestly don't understand why. Economics of toy making. I don't know. Let's get a little closer detail. Look, the abs are done up nicely. There is some molding in there. Again, it's very simple to match the cartoon. And then we have the head, which is very Optimus Prime. It is a tiny, tiny head, though. It's so tiny, it's very hard to make out if the eyes are even painted. They are, but it's the tiniest little paint on the tiniest little eyes, and it just works. Just works. Detail-wise, I think the big detraction a lot of people have are these big boxing mitts he has out of his vehicle mode parts. They do not swing down. There's mods that let it swing down. To keep it accurate to what you buy in a store, I have chosen not to do that. So it stands as it is, as you would actually buy it at Walmart. Take a closer look at his articulation. Shoulders move up and down, as well as hinge outward. This should give him universal range, but it's just off enough so they feel like two separate joints. So you don't quite get the stature that I would really want from a universal joint. Ball-jointed elbows, that's nice. Waist rotates. Neck rotates, though it's a little bit limited. Still should go far as you need it to. Hips go outward. Thigh swivel. Knee bends a full 90 degrees. All that works well. So, decently articulated, nothing extreme, but everything I want is there, so that's an important feature. And then there is his axe, which of course fits into his hand like so, and looks quite good. He doesn't have too many extreme poses he can do with it. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot to do with it, but he has it, it fits, it looks good with him. I think that fits him quite nicely. What is strange, and this is one of those times where, again, I don't know what I'm talking about, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. There's a hole in the axe that's for a 5mm post. I've looked everywhere on this toy. Absolutely everywhere, looking at this as a vehicle mode storage. Is this some other weapon mode? The only place I can find that it goes is here, because there are only two 5mm pegs on the entire toy, and that is one of them. Here, we'll flip it around just so it looks a little bit better. And is that how it goes? Like, honestly, I really have no idea what that hole is for, because it doesn't seem to work anywhere. And yes, I have checked. I have checked everywhere on this toy to make sure I am not screwing something up again. I can't find any other pegs that actually fit that. But I don't know, if you don't want it in his hand, or if you're putting him on display and don't want to keep it around or worry about getting lost, it's nice that it has a place to go. We'll put it back in his hand to end off the video. So that's RID Optimus. It's a simple toy. It's a fun little transformation. It gives you enough articulation to get the job done, and I'm quite a fan of the look. There's still some aesthetics I'm not a fan of, the lack of paint apps and the poker chip that is the Autobot logo in these, but it's a gimmick for the cell phone game, so whatever. But for what he is, I'm a fan. I'm looking forward to reuses of this mold, because I think it's got a lot of potential, both as other versions of Prime. There's a Nemesis Prime out of Japan that already looks really good. I want a Rodimus out of this. Like, there's something very Space Winnebago about that vehicle mode, and something about this seems like it could fit. I don't count on Fun Pub for much. I might count on them for this. Not that they are watching. I hope they're not watching.